So, okay, max sack. Now, I mean, we're gonna go in the explanation right now before I even start showing any real damage. Okay, we're gonna go in simple explanation on why is max sack something really useful for Nero. Well, I mean, me, I'm gonna say why, and after Lord can chime in and say like his reason, or just add more stuff if needed. So Maxac is like a key feature of Nero, of knowing how to exceed the sword at a specific timing so that you can gain the full benefit of a triple charge, which in the end will boost the damage of his attack tremendously, which like over a certain period of time, especially in this game, the enemy being kind of sword sponge as I can say,
Yeah.
it would make up over time, making it a lot faster if you want to dispatch the enemy, and also being really good to build up your style meter fast. Is there like anything else, Lord, you want to add
Basically,
towards that?
basically, why you want to get a good exceed gauge, because you want to basically bring out the true power of the Red Queen and the sword itself. So your attacks will do the most damage possibly inflicted, and it will allow you to bring out the most combo potential out of it. So you can basically chain for high letters, because it's better than just doing a normal exceed or just standard Red Queen combos. When you say for example, you have a full max act and you do like a double down or a streak, you'll get a multiple letter boost while doing a lot more damage. And that alone makes it better than just attacking normally like most people do.
All right. So also, I just want to make sure. Okay, right now, do you guys hear Lord well in the stream? I just want to make sure because it's important that we hear him well enough so that when I export that specific video, that everyone like heard properly. All right. So now I'm gonna show you a straight example of what Lord just mentioned with the regular hit, okay? And the straight example, I'm gonna show the same example that I showed yesterday, guys, so that you fully understand what I mean for those like that may have missed it, okay? So for example, if I look at that enemy and I'm doing a regular slash, okay, without exceed, so I'll hit, it will do 40 damage on a regular initiating triangle combo, okay? Now, if I reset and I do a level 1 exceed sword slash on him, it will still do 40 damage. So that's what Lord was referring to earlier, in a way that the exceed move will obviously do like upgraded damage compared to the regular move. So one good example of that, now I show a singular slash in a singular slash with exceed. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a move without exceed, but that would change into an exceed movement when you have a charge. One of those examples is a regular straight. So if I do a straight toward this enemy right now, is gonna do 60 base damage. And if I reset here and I go for a level 1 straight with 1 charge, oh fuck, I messed it up, wait a second, I did a 48. And also here it's weird because I feel like it did boost the attack, but after it was charged, it's weird. Okay, wait a second. So it did what, a 60, and then if we go for a charge, okay, 72. We'll upgrade the damage. Now, something that I just realized, Lord, and actually I have to test that right now because I may have said bullshit. It's like a regular slash of Red Queen, if you exceed once, is less powerful. But what if you have the exceed before, like I already have right now, and I hit? It actually does extra damage, Lord. Okay? Not by much, but it does. It's 8 base damage, while a straight move or a max sack move or anything like 1 bar exceed move will do, I would say 12 extra damage on a straight, while on a singular slash 1 Exceed charge will do 8 more base damage. Alright? So, I mean, I didn't even know that because we tested it before. And I feel the reason why it does the same base damage is because it's not initially charged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, exactly.
now one thing I want to test out because I just want to make sure 100% is if a regular hit of a fully max axe sword is actually more powerful than a level 1 exceed hit, you know? So
I can't see a normal slash being too much different.
so no, it isn't. Exactly. There you go. The sword was fully charged with a triple, like with a max attack, obviously, and
it
then
only uses one part of your exceed gauge. It doesn't.
exactly that. So now, I mean, again, it was worth trying it just to show people so that they know. But it's exactly what he's saying is because it only will use one charge of your exceed. All right. So after that, where we'll see a big difference is that if I go reset and we'll start from that basic like straight that did 60 base damage, and now we're gonna show what a max sack straight will do. Alright? So it does 216 damage versus the base 60 damage. So if you think about it, it's like 3.5 times stronger than the regular attack. Because one will do 60, so it's not at 180, but it's not at 240. It's kind of in between, so it will roughly be 3.5 times stronger. Okay? On that specific move. If I would say, let's try to go for a straight and a max. No, not a straight, a shuffle. Let's try to go for a 1 level shuffle into, and now we're just showing damage number. Okay, it's not necessarily part of to learn how to max act. It's just to show the depth of the max act before we get into how to max act. If that makes sense. So do a shuffle. That will do 72 damage, which is also the same damage as what would be a level 1 straight. So this means this move, a shuffle and a straight, from what I've seen so far, is pretty much the same base damage on a level 1 charge. Now, a level 3 straight was 216 total damage. What a level 3 shuffle will do. Let's see. So it does 150. So now that's a confirmation that a level 3, a max sack shuffle, has actually less power than a max sack straight. Did you know that, Lord? I didn't.
I figured streak was more powerful.
All right.
But it depends if all the hits connect, though.
Yeah, but do you feel like the hit of the shuffle didn't all connect, though, in that case? Or do you feel I should retry it again? Let's try it again.
Try one more, because I haven't really quite seen it.
Okay. So, the enemy now is close enough here. Okay, you see?
Okay.
150.
That fully connected.
Okay, 150. And then we go for a full straight. Wait.
The thing is, sometimes I feel with the Impuzas, sometimes parts of the streak don't always fully land. So if it fully landed, then it might actually do more. So it depends on the enemy.
So right now you see full landing straight 216. The other one is 150. Okay, now let's try with the other one just for fun. Let's try with other max attack move just to show really the difference.
Streak is stronger in that case.
For now, yeah. By the way, I see you, Max. I'm not ignoring you. It's because we're doing the guide right now, and I'm gonna export that thing we're doing right now on YouTube. So okay. So let me go through all that, and then don't worry, I'm gonna read everything after. So okay, now we're gonna compare a level 1 caliber to a level 3 caliber. All right. So level 1 does also exactly, bro. You see the same base damage as a 1 exceed shuffle, a 1 exceed strike, and the 1 exceed caliber.
I'm guessing that's because caliber and shuffle work off the same type of input, except one's on the ground and one's in the air.
Yeah, but strike does the same also in that case. But on the max sack version, strike is more powerful.
Okay.
All right. So after that, if I go with a max sack shuffle, it will do exactly the same damage. I mean, a max sack caliber, it will do exactly the same damage as a max sack shuffle. So they do exactly the same damage. Okay?
So yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay. So now, let's go double down. Level 1 double down. 1 gauge of exceed. And we go double down. That does 45 damage, which is actually the least amount of damage so far. Okay? The other one were all 72 base. This one is 45. Double down, definitely not the most powerful of the set without the full gauge. Now, if we go for max sack double down, that will do 93 base damage, which is actually very bad when you think about it, Lord. Holy Christ, this is bad.
That's actually bad, but there's 2 reasons I can think of this. One, I think they nerfed some of the hit properties and damage on 5 compared to 4. And also, I feel like when it comes to double down, I feel like when you pull in multiple targets on 4, you can like hit them all at the same time, where I feel like on 5, it's like some of them just don't have the same hit impact.
But that's huge though, because we're going from 150 on all the other move, and
but also remember, Impuzas tend to get stunned back more, unlike a bigger enemy that has more hit resistance, so it may do more damage that way.
And there's one thing though, Pratimus stated here, doesn't do more the higher you are up in the air.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a good point. We could try that. So we did 93 right now, but that's a huge difference, bro, okay? Because we have the caliber and the shuffle on max sack that will do 150.
You know what I could suggest is to, like, try to snatch them up in the air and let them drop.
Yeah, that's what I'll try. But right now, dude, it's a big difference because we have a 150 for caliber, 150 for shuffle, and then we have a 216 for the straight, but we have a 93 for the double down, which is very, very fucking low. So right now we're gonna try to see if the height has any difference to this.
But yeah, overall I feel like double down doesn't get the same combo jump boost as 4. That's something I definitely noticed, like even since I played the demo.
So even here, for some reason, I was higher, and the hit, it seems connected less.
Yeah, see, that's what I meant, the Impuzas hitbox. That's probably why.
Okay, so if, for example, okay, let's take an enemy that will actually not move.
Try,
Impuza Queen.
Impuza Queen or Behemoth are good options.
Yeah. Wait, where's the Behemoth? Okay, there we go. Yeah, okay, so we'll try a Behemoth, man, with the double down, because I feel like it's so bad, dude. Alright. So, we'll do 1 charge double down on the Behemoth. Okay. Let's see.
But make sure you get in a good position to make sure it fully connects.
But this one, it's 20 damage. 20 damage. And then, if we do 20 plus... 43, dude, with... 43 with this, so wait, it's gonna go to 106. Yes! Oh my god, it's bad, bro. It's so bad.
Yeah, that it's definitely been somewhat nerfed.
So, yeah. Double down is very bad, guys.
Another thing I'm also starting to wonder too, dude, is depending on what mode you play and what enemies you fight, sometimes maybe the total damage might tally different. And it might tally different and differ depending on enemy and mode.
But wait, let's see. I'm gonna go back to the Impuza, okay?
Still, our point is that we're trying to make is that regardless of the point that we're making, it doesn't do as much damage as it did before. They definitely nerfed it either way.
Okay, no, there we go. Pratimus is right now. It's how high the enemy is in the air, because you see, a full double down from all the way up will do extra damage. Yeah. Like, it's very good, actually. You see?
I can actually explain why that happens. It's because as you're slamming down with the enemy, it's constantly attacking.
Exactly.
Bringing him down with it, so it's connecting the.
So technically, a double down, like, not high is crap. If you're high, the enemy is high. It actually, it just did more damage than a strike, bro. And the strike was the highest right now.
So in other words, the hit has to fully connect to get the maximum damage.
Exactly. So the enemy needs to be in the air with you, and then as you go down with it, exactly. So they nerf how much damage the jump cancel double down does, exactly. So I mean,
so
that's
the hit detection is very different in 5.
Now that's another thing we're gonna have to try, bro, because there's another move that's really similar to that, and it's the forward triangle. You know, the other move, pay line. Now I'm gonna try pay line going from the enemy straight, but then we're gonna try pay line with an enemy in the air, and we're gonna see the difference. So I'm gonna do like pay line on the enemy from the air, which does what? 45 damage before I did that other move? Did it? Was it that? Wait, let's try again. We need to lose the charge.
The first hit when I think it said 65.
Yeah, but it's 45 here. Let's say again. I need
okay, yeah, this time it's 45.
Okay, but you see, it's a little more. So 65. You're right. 40. It did 45, but after with the double hit, it did 65. Now.
Like that hit connects twice.
But let's see if I'm in the air. If I'm in the air, it connects more. So I did 65 while not being in the air, and then I did 60 if I'm in the air. All right. So it seems that this move is not dependent on how high you are in the air. Okay. So now if I go, for example, for max act pay line, it will do 137, but did the full second hit connect though? That's the thing. Let's try. I want to check properly. So
it seemed like it only one hit counted there, but I'm not sure.
So 137 here. If we go in the air now.
Okay, yeah, it was 2 hits. It went from 85 to 137.
Okay, so if we're in the air, 127 on that. Okay, so this move will not benefit the player from being higher in the air. Okay, after that, is there other max act move that we're missing right now, Lord?
I'm trying to think here. There's high time, or high roller.
High roller is just back with the triangle, right?
That's considered an exceed move.
Okay, all right. Let's actually test it out. So we will have the regular eye time. Yeah, but it's true. There's two type. Okay, there's two type.
There's the ground type and the air type.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do the air type with 1 charge and see how much it does.
Nemesis, I'm in a call.
54 base damage. Okay, with 1 charge. Then if we go for the max sack version, it is 113. All right, 54 and 113, and then let's try the one on the ground. So 54, 113. The one on the ground is same thing. So the max sack on the ground should be the same. Should be 113. There we go. 113. Okay, alright. So now
before we move on, I just want to explain one other thing. Another reason why you want to, let's say, max act or get a full charge on your exceed gauge is because the certain inputs of certain moves that have like a backwards or a forward input. Like for example, we got like high time, we have caliber, we have shuffle, pay line, all those moves. Like these moves here are the moves are why you want to exceed, because these particular type of moves will bring out the full potential of the weapon compared to just the standard slices, which are more considered to be chain combos. So
Yeah, but it doesn't affect them the same, Joe. That's what we're saying. And by the way, I'm not ignoring any of you guys in the chat. I said that it's because we're doing a guide right now. This is gonna be on YouTube, guys. So if I don't like answer right away, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's just because we don't want to forget what we're talking about. Okay, so now the next part of it, okay, and that's what like Lord stated earlier. That's gonna be kind of tricky to explain. Is that to get to the max sack part, okay? Because I've seen, and you must have seen player do that too. To also, Lord, as I feel like the problem with the max sack is a lot of people will. What I put as an example is they will try to run before they can walk, you know? And what that is you're gonna try to max sack before you can actually do basic exceed it on every sword slash. And that is something that I feel is like really important to be able to do consistently before you would even try to bother doing max sack. Unless like what's your thought on that, Lord?
my thoughts is, if you're going to like begin to learn how to axe act, like the first thing you want to do is learn how to set it up properly. And I feel the first two easiest attacks to get your max act up is to do the first slice of the ground combo and the first slice of the air combo. When you get max act this way, then you can start setting up other moves and other parts of your combo to actually use it. So let's say, for example, you max act the ground slice, right? Once you know you got it, then you could just do exceed level 3 streak at the enemy, pretty much. And that's a good place to start. So once you understand the stepping stones and then practice all the timings of the max act and certain parts of the combo, then eventually you can learn to chain certain parts of exceed type combos and then fall the way into another exceed type combo. Like, let's say, for example, you max act one of your slices on the ground, right? And then you do a streak. But there's a timing at the end of streak that if you can nail, you can get another max act and then you can fall into a high time. This is more of an advanced technique, so when you get better, you can do that. But for now, just stick to the first ground slice and the first air slice and go from there.
But
and
even then, what I was going to say on that is I feel like up to a point, that's what I was also explaining earlier before we actually started the guide is...
But anyways, before we continue,
that
we'll explain the timings of the other attacks.
But double max sack of anything, a max sack after a max sack is something that I feel does not necessarily require skill, but more luck. Because the time window to actually do that specific timing, I don't feel it's something that you're gonna really learn. It's more of a feel when you play the game.
Like, you're not always gonna get it. It is a bit luck based, but when you do get really good at it, you can somewhat get these timings, but don't always rely on them. Just try to get them if you can. But again, practice somewhat makes perfect, and then you can get it more often, therefore inputting more combos and more damage.
So exactly. I mean, but that's the thing, okay? I feel the whole point also of what Lord was trying to say is that, yes, it's type of a RNG to do multiple max act in a row. But the thing is a lot of time you will see player who are kind of almost panicking when they get a double max act and that they don't know how to make it into a useful combo. You know, and that's why I feel like people got to get used to doing that. But before what Lord said, to be able to do max sack on, we'll say that singular slash on the ground, okay? You need, in my opinion, to be able to nail we'll say the triple 8 combo on the ground with exceed. You know, triangle, triangle, triangle. To me, before you even start worrying about that, you need to be able to do just at least one level charge of exceed on these basic combo, because that's what I've been saying. If you skip that step and you try to just go for the timing of the max sack, I feel itself the person will never get good at just doing regular exceed which is overall really important to learn, because I feel if you cannot master that basic exceed, you're not gonna be able to make the most out of the max act. You know?
Pretty much.
So
There's a couple little small other things I want to explain.
Let's go.
Whenever you're doing exceed, you can obviously you start off with no exceed gauge at all. So you want to see if you could try to nail, let's say, a max act from your first slice. But once you have the max act or an exceed of any kind in that slice, the next fallen slices, the timing will change when you try to exceed, because the sword attack will come out faster because you have a part of your exceed gauge.
Exactly, it is
so
true.
You got to keep that in mind, and also that changes the flow of your attacks whenever you're attacking in midair to charge, or whenever you're following up on hits hitting an enemy. So you got to get a feel for the timing and memorize it for each different type of attack following.
Exactly, because a level 1 exceed will not be the same as a level 2 exceed, that will not be the same as a max act. So each of these attack will have a different feel, and that's why also there's people that stated like the other time, and it's true, okay? To each his own. You, Lord, I don't know how you do it. Me, I go personally really by the feel of the controller, like the thumb button, how it feels with my other slash button. But I've heard some people that they will go with a visual cue in the game, or other people will go with a visual, like audio or visual cue. You know,
comes down to preference.
Exactly. So me, I'm going with the feel, but you personally, what do you use? Do you go with the feel, or you will go with something visual?
The thing is, I kind of follow up with sort of all of them in a way. Like, whenever I'm going for, like, in theory, how to get it, I always try to, like, look for a visual and a somewhat audio cue, primarily a visual, to know when to get, let's say, for example, the max act. But once I know it and it feels second nature, then I try to go for more of a feel.
But yeah, but that's what I mean. But for example, since you say you're going, for example, for visual, okay?
Yes.
Like, what are the specific visuals someone should look for when doing this? Because me, like I told you, bro, I really go by the feel. So I never really observed that shit. So I have no clue what I'm supposed to look for. So that's pretty much for a new player that would kind of understand when you're saying visual, what are those visual that we should look for?
The visual that you want to look for is, if you're going for a max act attack, you want to try to, let's say, for example, the streak, for example. You want to go for a max act, right? A lot of people, when they try to max act, they don't know when to press the L2 button, which is, we're going by default, exceed here. What you want to learn to do is basically try to press at, let's say, for example, the end of the animation, like the sword at the very end of the visual animation, like around there is usually when you want to press the L2. Not too early, but not too late. So when you end up doing that, that's usually the timing that you would somewhat normally get it. Even if you don't get the max act, you'll usually get the normal exceed that way. So
okay,
so it's little things like that. And then once you get that timing and that visual cue down, it becomes kind of instinctual, and then it just becomes more muscle memory at that point.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, but you see, it's perfect, because me, I have no clue. Yes. And that's why, guys, I brought Lord here today, because me, I have a different feel for the game than someone else. So this gives you two different opinions, Lord's opinion and my opinion, to give you an idea on how you can practice. You know,
we're gonna do it, but we're gonna probably try to explain when to nail these timings on most attacks, so people will explain how to get the exceed or the max act on each and every particular attack.
Okay, but okay, so for example, me, what I would recommend, okay, because that's another thing, Lord will agree with me, is that hitting in the air when there's no enemy like this is not the same as when you're hitting an actual enemy. The timing is different. So for example, getting a max act out of nowhere in the air like this or on the ground will not be the same as if you try to hit an enemy and get max act. And I feel like you can agree, it's easier to get a max act on a singular slash when you're not hitting an enemy.
Yes, Exactly. If you're going to go for a max attack and you want to set up the first one, I recommend doing an air attack without hitting an enemy to set it up. And then after that, try to get the exceeds on the hits of the enemies if you can. But again, it's luck based. Don't always try to go for it because the timing's really tight.
Yeah, so there you go. So each timing is different. So basically, okay, it's that I want people to do the proper step to getting good at max acting, okay? But these proper step, guys, it's not to start by trying to max sack on your first go, okay? The thing you want to do is what I call initiating combo, okay? And some of these combo will be what I will call combo that are used to be launched. Because the ground combo, and I'm pretty sure Lord will agree with me, okay? We'll say the regular 4-hit sword combo, 1, 2, 3, 4. These combo are really not the type of combo that you will want to prioritize because they usually don't involve any exceed usage.
Yeah. They're not meant to be really used to bring out the full power of the Red Queen. They're just more meant to be used for like chain attack combos to connect and follow up into an actual maxed up attack.
So
like,
there.
For example, you want to do let's say 1, 2, 3 with your sword slice. Try to keep as much of your exceed as you can as you're hitting the enemy each time. And then if you still have all 3 of your gauges, then follow up and bring up the potential of High Roller.
Okay.
And try to get
So right now I'm gonna show you what I personally call initiating combo that people can practice. Anyone can practice those combo. And after once you feel like you've nailed those basic type of combo, then I feel you can start like practicing the singular slash max sack. But some of the initiating combo that I'm talking about will be started with one of the basic combos. So one of them can be just a double slash with a high roller to initiate an air combo, and these are good to practice just getting a regular exceed on them. For instance, 1, 2, lift up, and then once you're in the air, like that is pretty much like whoever is playing their own choice on what the fuck they do in the air. If they want to go for roulette, if they want to go for a double down, if they want to go for a caliber, if they want to go for a combination of all of that, that's entirely up to people. But this is one of the initiated combo, and the other one can be done with the 1, 2 hit, delayed hit, and then reach in the air. But the thing is that you never want to finish those full combo, as I stated earlier with Lord, because they're useless.
If it will create a knockback and creating distance from the enemy, and then you can't follow up right away.
And the singular slash damage are pathetic. They're bad.
Yeah.
That's what we say. You can.
No combo value.
Okay, another thing that Joe mentioned right now that's good. He says one thing you can start implementing is certain max sack. You can do Devil Bringer Knuckle. Okay, that is an advanced technique, and I can show it. Yeah. And you can do it after any singular sword hit. But the thing is, it's not very practical, as if you miss the timing, you will most likely get punished because you will do a buster animation. And if you have any enemy that are offensive around you, you're going to get hit. So I'm going to get
using that more in moves that like have a long
recovery, exactly. Long move animation.
Like an example that I like to do, it's not really an exceed move, is I like to use Devil Bringer with Showdown, because during Showdown you have to complete the animation and then you can just mash
that's a good example. That's a very good example. Okay, so you can go singular sword hit and do the knuckle like this. But again, if you miss, it's gonna put you in shitty situations. So every max sack move, including the caliber and the shuffle, because it might be weird that you think you can devil knuckle behind those moves. But for example, when you do a strike, okay, you can check my controller and put, when you're holding a strike, it's Nemesis that pointed that out. It's one of those moves that you can indefinitely bring your knuckle like this.
Yeah, that's another good example.
Okay, you can keep doing it like this. Okay, that shows you I'm just mashing my bringer. Okay, and then when you go into a streak, you can also mash it to make the devil knuckle come out like this, and that will do extra damage And sometimes also, if you time it right, it will pull back the enemy towards you, which
Also, that move in particular, where you're holding streak now, isn't good for like doing extra double knuckle attacks, but it's a good way to lazily charge your exceed gauge as well if you don't want to go for max act.
yeah. So there you go. So basically, this move will also prevent the knockback of certain of these exceed max act attack that will otherwise occur. Obviously, if your timing is good. Um, After that, is there? But the thing is that I'm not gonna lie, and I feel even for you, Lord, I haven't even implemented it that much in my gameplay, beside for the showdown as you mentioned, because
Yeah,
I feel like it's too much information, you know.
Yeah, it's something that's new to the series in general, because 4 never had that, so we're still not used to it yet. And the other reason is sometimes it's not really practical to use. Like, you don't want to use it in the middle of small combos, like Godfather said, because you can accidentally grab an enemy and it could screw the flow of your fight up, and you'll lose style points over it or get hit.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so right now, I mean, beside that, I feel like we've covered pretty much all the basic there, so that people can understand that there is kind of a step guide and to become good at max acting, and that you cannot simply start by trying to max act in the first place, and that first you need to learn the basics. So, uh, is there anything else you think that we forgot? And in the chat, is there anyone
Well,
that has anything to add that we may have forgot? Like anyone in the chat, but go ahead, Lord. You can go ahead and mention
the
it.
other thing a lot of people don't realize that you can exceed that's new to this game is there's 2 other ways you can exceed. Like, one, it wasn't really new, but we just showed it, which is you can exceed slowly by holding streak. 2 other ways you can do it is in DMC5, now you can actually run around and start charging exceed while you're moving. You couldn't do that before. So that's one other thing.
Okay, so you can charge it manually, but
Yes.
but that does not make it good to practice, though.
Yes, it's slow, but let's say it's a good way if you're going from fight to fight and you don't feel like doing it like max act while going into another fight. So it's like another lazy way you can do it.
All right.
I wouldn't do that in an actual fight. The other thing is that's really useful that you can do is you can taunt now in the middle of the air, like the surfboard animation, and you can actually exceed that animation, and you can actually even max act it. That is very useful.
So you see, me, I never use it because, well, I never use the taunt. I remember it's at an awkward position on my thing, but you see,
actually really useful.
but you can actually using, you can actually use it. Me, I have no clue of the timing. Maybe for that, Lord could actually cover the timing of the max act on the taunt, the air taunt, because I have no clue.
Explain, but I think the max act or just
the
exceed in general is I think you have to try to press the button right slightly or right as the timing as his verbal animation's about to come out. That's what I usually notice. That's usually one of the best timings. But it's kind of a tight window though. But it's something I definitely advise practicing because it can be really rewarding.
So exceed on the new move. We showed all the move nemesis, but that's pretty much it.
That's basically the basic guide. Like the other things we could explain, but I don't know if Godfather really wants to do it. Is when to exceed or max act on like every single type of attack. I don't know if he really wants to.
Yeah, but the thing is that even me, dude, and even you, I feel are really good. I see it's not something that we can do consistently. So I feel it's more like you get it, you make something out of it. Like you go for a straight, you see you get another max act. Don't start wasting it on singular slash. Do a double down. Do a caliber. Do a like a high roller, but make use of the fact that you got that extra max act. That's what I would say.
Make use of it and try to chain each of your exceed attacks together, because whenever you let go of your timing and you end up dropping it, then you have to regain it manually all over again. It's kind of a pain. So it's just it's a matter of just practice, really.
So there you go. If also, I'm going to say it because it's going to be on YouTube. If there's anyone on YouTube that there's something you feel that we did not cover in this guide here, feel free to comment below. And anyone here in the chat, If you have something that we forgot, you can also comment right now.
Yes, if you guys have anything you want to like tell us that we forgot to
That we may
mention,
have forgot, because again, we're used to doing that, me and Lord, and sometimes we may have forgot to mention something else
so
that is
since we're not
basic.
going to cover every other move, my only advice I'll give people for now is from the basic attacks. Obviously, you want to get used to the first slice in the ground in the air. That's a good start. But if you really want to learn the other timings of the attacks, I'd say a good start is try to learn the exceed specific moves and try to find the timing at usually around the end of the attack. Like an example would be double down, right? Double down, if you want to try to max at it or exceed it, the timing I usually go for is the moment the sword touches the ground. Like if you do that, you can get it like that, for example. So try to find those little timings there, because once you know those timings as well, you can actually like connect like more into it. But also you got to remember the timing does change for certain attacks depending whether you're hitting just the plain air or you're actually hitting the enemy. So
Yeah.
again, it just comes down to a feel. You got to feel it out and get used to it. But once you know it, it just becomes second nature.
So that's about it, guys. So I hope you have enjoyed that guide. And again, if there's anything, just let me know in the comment below.
Just let us know.